This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with a daily wrestling news update. I'm sorry I did not see Wrestlemania, had no interest in it, and I was actually having some fun doing some bull riding yesterday, having part of my hand ripped off by a bull that weighed over 2,000 pounds. I just wanted a little taste of what it was like, what the blood hunter is going to have to go through this weekend. I want to experience a little bit of what he's going to have to go through so I can report on that situation properly when I cover that event for the Hannibal TV this weekend. That's coming up in Belton, Texas, April 17th at 6 p.m. But let me get into the news. And as I said, WrestleMania did not interest me at all. So I'm actually going to tell you some related news to WrestleMania. Teddy Hart, I guess, showed up at PFX Battle, which was a WrestleMania weekend event, and he was basically forcibly asked to leave by a man holding a stick. Last time he was asked to leave somewhere when he had an alleged altercation with his ex-girlfriend. The person had a gun. This time they were holding a stick. I used to be very close with Ted. I have not seen him much in the last several years or talked to him in about a year. And he may watch this, and if he does, I would suggest, honestly, Ted, you should just stick with going to wrestling events in Calgary and Canada for now, where you won't have the heat. It seems to me the heat is not doing you any favors, unfortunately, and I hope you can get over it. You're very talented. I haven't been following everything that's been going on with Ted, to be honest, but I do hope that things improve for him, because I know he's not had an easy last couple of years. The other thing I wanted to follow up about was Rene Dupree did an interview. I guess Conrad Thompson and Jim Ross did a podcast bit on Rene recently, and of course Conrad, at 400 whatever pounds he is, never lifted a weight in his life, never been in a wrestling ring other than maybe as a fan. If he could actually get up the stairs, I would actually like to see Conrad Thompson try to waddle his way into a wrestling ring. That would be funny. Or better yet, I'd love to see him try to waddle his way into the ring to say some of the shit he says about Rene to Rene's face, because I think that would be funny. But anyways, I didn't even listen to it, what they said about him, because I listened to a previous thing that they said about him, and I knew it was a lie. So if I knew other stuff is going to be a lie, I'm not even going to bother listening to it. And also, I really don't care that much. But the follow-up that I'm going to bring up is there were a bunch of people commenting that Rene brought up that Hardcore Holly was caught stealing pills from wrestlers' bags behind the scenes in WWE. He was then sent to rehab and released shortly after. He may have had a small time having a few matches before they ultimately released him after rehab, but basically he was caught, according to the Bleacher Report, in September 2008 stealing out of wrestlers' bags in WWE, and he was released in 2009. Some people said Rene was making that up. He was not making that up. That's very well documented. And to my knowledge, I don't think Hardcore Holly's done much of anything other than a few independent appearances since. So I may have met Hardcore Holly when I was an extra a couple times. I don't know him. So the only reason I'm following that up is for the people that says Rene was lying. He was not lying. Search it up on Bleacher Report and Sportskeeda. There's other sites that you can find that story about Hardcore Holly stealing out of wrestlers' bags. Finally, there was an article put out on WWE Fury. It's nice to see it getting some recognition from Last Word on Sports. They did make one mistake, though. They were putting over SWE Fury, which I think more people need to do, because NWA doesn't even have a TV show, and they've hardly run the past year. But it seems like all the internet sites love reporting on NWA, where the champion is the booker, and he's been stale as champion for years now. I think his last high-profile match was against Cody Rhodes years ago. And then MLW, I do have friends in MLW, but SWE has more star power and is on more TV than MLW. So I think SWE should be in more people's conversation before MLW and NWA, certainly NWA, which I don't even, NWA's YouTube channel gets little to no hits. I follow their YouTube channel. And by the way, I'll just bring this up. I did beat last month, yet again, Ring of Honor in YouTube views, NWA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ryback, who I demolish every month, the Chris Van Vliet guy, who seems like a nice guy. I've got nothing against him. Fight TV, I got nothing against them either. But I beat them in YouTube views. And some people said, well, how much do you post, Hannibal? No wonder you beat them. You post more. Are you seriously going to give me slack because I work harder than major companies that are funded in some cases by multi-millionaires, or in Ring of Honor's case, owned by Sinclair Broadcasting? Just because they don't work hard or they don't hire people that work hard, you're going to actually use that as an excuse to say, oh, well, no wonder you beat them, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry. I will take those victories. I'm self-made. None of those companies ever gave me a shot. And God, I think I went to 2 or 3 New Japan tryouts. They never gave me a shot because, for one thing, I beat AJ Styles 2 times in one night when he was New Japan champion. So they know I can beat their wrestlers. But now, not only can I beat their wrestlers, I'm actually destroying them month after month after month in YouTube views. So let me get into the fan questions. Anthony, I'm doing great. Will is saying hello. Mark, he says, I didn't miss anything on WrestleMania. By the way, I actually know 2 people that fell asleep during last night's WrestleMania broadcast. Mark has another comment here saying Teddy Hart even causing trouble before he even shows up. And that's what I mean. For Ted, I think it's better if he just falls off the radar for a bit, gets his stuff together, because it's not turning out good, these little appearances that are happening. Easy Peasy says Conrad's knee needs to get checked on camera. Gut checked on camera. I guess that means, yeah, that would be interesting. The only fight I've heard him been, there was like an alleged assault that he allegedly did on an ex-girlfriend. That's the only fight I've ever heard of him being in. Chris Bengals says hello. Cure says, why talk about Conrad? Because I was following up on an interview that one of my friends, Rene Dupree, did last week that was telling the truth behind a false story that Conrad, who was not even there at the time, made up about him. And God bless Jim Ross, but he's getting pretty damn old. And he does drink when he does his podcasts. So take that for what it's worth. Anthony said WrestleMania sucked. Chris says more like WrestleLamia. Trevs says, did they ever find that missing ex-girlfriend of Ted Hart? I don't know. I know nothing about that. The time when Ted and I were the closest was when I was in Stampede Wrestling, which was sadly over 15 years ago now, more like 17 years ago. So I would not be privy to any of that type of information. Rise over here 305 says WWE sucks today. I agree. I fully agree. Wendell's looking forward to an upcoming interview I have. Well, I'm going to do some training. I had a couple good workouts already today. I'm going to finish off with some yoga here, loosen up a bit. I have to say, when you fighting those bulls is quite a workout, and it's quite hard on your body. Very, very hard on your body. So I need to do some yoga to open myself up a bit and loosen up here. So make sure you subscribe to this channel. And we got some big interviews coming up. Don't miss them out. And we do do our streams too on our The Hannibal TV Facebook page, which you can go and like to have a look at our streams. Malik, my hand got through the workouts, but I had to tape it up because it's a little bit bloody. But luckily, the blood hunter wasn't there yesterday. He didn't smell the blood on my hand and attack me, because I understand he can actually get the smell of blood, which is one thing Rodney Mack is going to have to watch out for this weekend. And also Sabu is going to have to look out for that in the near future, because there's going to be some battles coming up.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support